friendly friends yet, in which case just hello people. But also if there's no people, then that's as far as I can go. That's as deep as the rabbit hole goes. Alright, let's see. Let's make a bit of an announcement. Check me out while I code on raspberry right now. It's more important than eating or sleeping. That'll get them. Let's get chat up so I can actually see. We'll decide what we're doing in a second, because I don't even know. What are we doing? Not stream myself in my browser. Okay. And let's update titles for now. I don't even know officially what this is going to be, but let's say gonna write some thick code. Maybe let's not write it like that, right? Coding time, but I don't know what. Watch me code or don't. If you like my code, check out my website, https mrberry.com for even more good stuff. There we go. That's a solid title. Cool. I don't even know what I'm gonna like code this time around, to be honest. Also, I've never tested if my my live stream detection code works. Oh crap, it works. I'm so impressed with myself. I'm gonna turn on my stuff now, I guess. Whoa! Oh, by the way, there's supposed to be an embedded chat. Oh yeah, let's clear this, but let's do it like a coding project, I guess. What was I just saying? Oh yeah, there's supposed to be right above me, right there. That's supposed to be the embedded chat, and for reasons doesn't exist. I'm gonna just try and embed it. Maybe I just like put the wrong link in there by accident. If not, I'll just rearrange the window so it's better. All right, just trying to that, copy that, and let's that, and let's try dumping that back in there. So weird. Yeah, it's not embedding. I'm using like an old like Qt WebView plugin though, so maybe that just doesn't work. Alright, so let's remove. No point in keeping it. And it's up here, and let's make that like way bigger. My face doesn't need to fill in some space, which I know everyone wants to see my face, but let's do, I don't know, something like that. Although we could just make this bigger too. You probably don't even need to see what's on the bottom right of the screen. Not important. As my friends can see, I have trimmed my beard greatly. And yeah. my wife cut my hair as well, so living that less hairy life. Let's see. So we got some options for coding today. We have so many. I mean, these are just the things I've cloned on this computer anyway, but obviously not OBS Qt WebKit because that's not mine. I don't remember what Prime Rex is, so probably not that. We could do some mob time. That could be fun. I do have a long-standing bug in JS Enumerize that I need to deal with at some point. I'm doing some neat stuff with FERP, but I don't know if there's like an easy chunk that we can break off for this. Let's see, what else do we got? Maybe we could do something cool with Declarativus. That's pretty fun. We could work on Cool Your Jets. I haven't touched that in a little bit. And plus, I wouldn't mind like even like rebuilding it a little bit now that I've got some like better thoughts on it, how it should work. Burp might be the most fun though, but it'll be like just really code dense, and we won't be able to see anything fun. Decisions are hard. Any thoughts, one user who's watching me that might actually be me by accident? No, I don't think it's me. Let's see. Oh, someone is watching me on Twitch. Alright, let's go check. You gotta like dig into this information. It doesn't ever tell you like directly. Let's see if I click this button. And if I move this. Oh yeah, it's just a restreamer bot. Ooh. Alright, well, I mean, I'll keep my eye there, and friendly friends, if you join, just say hi. Otherwise, this might actually be, you know what, I think I'm feeling FERP, but if someone comes on and they want to see something different, just let me know. I'm paying attention to chat, and I would love to write some interesting code for humans. For now, we're gonna full screen this. We're gonna go into FERP. So I'm in the midst of doing a huge rebuild of this, which maybe we'll just demo. So it used to be that you do something like import app effects from FERP, and then you would build like an app. It'd be like an initial state, which would have like whatever your app state should look like, and then any effects, which could be like don't do anything. Then there's also like this thing, which I kind of stole from Elm, but it was I think it goes message state, or that's how it used to go. And then this was like basically a big switch statement. It's bad, right? It's just this big thing, and then must return state effect, and then I have like a subscribe, and this thing takes in state, and then just like your sub calls here, something like that. But it turns out that I hated this pattern, and the reason I did is because this is kind of built like with a web app in mind, right? So if you look at Elm and like even HyperApp, they have similar structures, and it's not a bad structure, but it's only a good structure if you can rely on the system doing some of the things for you. So for instance, this update is like directly for a view. This is the way it's set up, and even subscribe. So like from FERP's perspective as just a state manager, maybe I should just say that this does like too much, or it's almost like it's not easy to interject doing something non-standard. And non-standard would be like setting up a custom DOM, right? So if you wanted to render something, is that a subscription? How does it react to state? You inline something in state or update, that's like kind of a side effect and it does something unexpected. Like maybe? Yeah, I don't know, but that's sort of what this is. And the new version is going to be something more like app, which is going to give you a dispatch. And the reason that it pipes this dispatch out is being able to push new things in here. Sometimes a subscription is going to make sense and it's going to be great, but other times you need something like external to kick something off. So I don't know. This is almost like a safety net for like people that want to do something not standard. We'll see. Maybe I will end up hating it. Alright, so this will be like state. This will be like initial effect. And then after this, it's just of state. Of state is essentially middlewares, right? So you could have like a firp.subscriptions or something like that, or subscribe, and in here it's going to take in like a state and then just do your regular stuff. But you could also have something like I don't know that these will be like directly off FERP. I haven't decided on that yet, but something like a callback or something like that. And this you can do like sort of whatever you want, and you don't have to return anything. Nothing crazy. This might even take a dispatch. I haven't decided yet. Probably. This should probably take a dispatch. This one would be more like reacting sub. So very similar to like an Elm and HyperApp subscription. Whereas this is more like so if we were using like something like, I'll say Superfine just as an example, but any DOM thing like even React would work. Being able to push in something like Superfine. What does it take? I think it does your DOM nodes first, so like div document get element by ID app or something like that. Right, and then this doesn't technically need to return. So the thing about this is it's like use the state, react to it, but don't. It's different than a subscription. So a subscription you expect to have like a cancel thing. These should be like finite, like one-off effects, but that are run every state. So I guess this would be like always effect or something like that. In fact, this could just become like a effects.always. That actually seems kind of neat, and this would be like effects.subscriptions. That would handle some of this stuff. And the nice thing about that too is, sorry, I'm itchy because my wife just cut my hair, but I mean, this seems so much simpler. And then I really like HyperApps like just dispatch an action, and it just like magically works. Just I don't know, seems pretty smart to me. What else could be interesting here? There could be an effects.once. So again, different than a subscription. This we just want to run once at the beginning of the app, which I guess you could argue would be a special effect. So maybe not. Well, I mean, this would get the advantage of getting your initial state, and then actually maybe it wouldn't even care about your initial state. Anyway, so this is like your typical data reactions. This is like a data reaction, but that you intend to always use, but not necessarily make resources for, like creating your DOM, and then yeah. Although one thing that could be nice about this is if it did always return state effects, but then I think you would end up with like an infinite recursion. Yeah, so I don't know about that. Once, I don't think we need. I think you could easily do it. Initial effect. Yes. What else? What else? I don't know, but anyway, I think this is gonna lead to some like better and more interesting data patterns. I'm not sold on like of state, but something like a cycle or something like that, or I don't want to call it middlewares. Like they are middlewares, but they're also, it's not meant to be like custom the way that I think middlewares are. Anyway, that's sort of the rundown there. Let's see, if I were to, I think we can split the screen this. Use, because my splits don't always work that way. Alright, so we got all sorts of broken stuff. I kind of left things in a state where there's a lot that needs to be done still. Yeah, so here it's like, I've already kind of updated this stuff. But a lot of the tests aren't really the same anymore. Oh yeah, I've got a, got this of state, and we got like the subscribe version of that, which seems kind of fun. Also, I've been moving towards function generators, which more and more browsers are like natively supporting, and generally speaking, it feels like a better option. But we'll see. Could be, it might be a mistake. Those are things that we can always find out later. So I got some tabs open here, browser that I want to get rid of here. Let's see. But I still gotta like decide on which things I want to close. I had a couple work tabs open that I don't want to accidentally show. All right. Anyway, so yeah, I've got like the idea of like building these things, which is just like initialize generators with dispatch and parameters. I have a feeling that most of these app effects calls are wrong at this point. I do have this effects manager, which probably needs to be a little different. Also with thunks, a part of me thinks I should be like, I don't know, passing dispatch into it, but I really don't know if that's a thing I want to do. Manager. We do effect manager. We could do dispatch separately. But like, yeah, well, I guess it's not really much. Part of me is like thinking when there's a thunk, there's ever a case where you want to do multiple things, but not like in a sequence that makes sense for this stuff. But then, like, I guess my next thing would be is that multiple effects, and you could theoretically build a loop of an effect that calls itself. It's done doing stuff. But I do want to change this effect manager to be maybe not this. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I don't think it would be easy. The effect manager is really just the means of dispatching. So running the effects is really just a thing that like runs the various effect handler methods. Also, I wouldn't mind adding some more testing around this too. Oops. Like the thunk type is like kind of frustrating to test. I wouldn't mind have something like is thunk and you pass it like, which I guess maybe we'll just dig into the tester and app.effects. Let's see, update. Okay, well, there's no updating. So, okay, well, maybe this will be a matter of just going through all these tests and understanding all the pieces. Let's see, our update does not get called with no init effect. Oh, and this is just saying it'll fail. Okay, well, I guess that doesn't make sense anymore. In fact, I'd almost say that you want like a test rig on your app. Okay, well, let's actually look at making some test things. So we'll say testing. And we'll say so I think we need a way to mount the configuration of the app, but we need to inject something where we can observe sequences and things like that. So we know we've got this app down here. So let's see what this would look like. Port const. I almost want like app test rig, which maybe I should file. And we're going to take in of the init and of state for now until I come up with something else. And what we want to do is expose some things that aren't necessarily dispatch. It needs to be a sort of stick. Like I'm using Ava, but obviously people could use whatever they want. Let's do we also have like manage of state. We only pass in the next state, but we don't really do anything involving the effects. And the effects are kind of synchronous-ish, and I don't know if I like that. No, that's not what I want. Effect man. Yeah, so I kind of got around that by doing like this this promise system that would just keep ticking, but I don't know if I like it. Well, if we were to design this a little differently, so if I did function star effect generator, I'm gonna take in I guess just dispatch for now. I'm just gonna say like queued effects. I almost feel like this synchronousness of them may work out okay. I don't know if this is gonna be a performance hit. I've also got to think, like, I want to use this for like declarativis and games and things like that. The performance is going to be a big deal. Alright, so if we did something like well true const ending effect yield. We don't need to push anything out from the effect generator because we have a copy of dispatch and we're never using that to modify anything about ourselves. And dispatch ultimately hooks back into this eventually. And this, I don't like that. Here, let's just close. I mean, here I kind of got away with some things by like faking some promise style stuff. Really don't like that though. So if we had a pending effect, then we had something like yeah, this won't like it. This all seems like a export const run effect. So we need a copy of dispatch and then the effect. If we do like a switch effect type. Yeah, this is saying like if there's an effect, grab the type, and otherwise it's a null, which will. So then this way our default is just going to be return dispatch effect. I used to have some settings where I put my cases on the same indentation level as switch, but so I do not have that anymore. So types.done is cool, we're done. Return no foul. And then we have case effects dot batch, which to me seems a whole lot like return effects effect dot effects dot for each. That needs the manager rather than this, but I think we can just run effect and then pass it dispatch FX. Defer should be like return dot all. Actually, you know, let's do promise resolve. Sure. Effect promise. So just in case we don't pass it and we just pass a value through, but defer it, which I guess you could do. There might be reasons to do that. It seems strange though, but you could do it. And this will be we'll get an effect from there, and then we're going to run effect dispatch effects. what's this complaining about? Actually, we'll do. There's nothing we need to learn from there. In this case, effect method. I guess this should be an effect. In which case we need to pass dispatch through. Why don't you like void zero? Oh, interesting. It does want. Cool. So we have a pending effect, and we just want to run that effect immediately. So run effect, that's dispatch, and then pending effect. Cool. So that's nice and simple. Like that. This is more compact, but at the same time, like it feels not the right. So here we want to say like generator equals effect generator dispatch. There we go. I know how to spell. Now we're gonna do generator next because generators you just to get forward once. And then we're gonna just run the generator. Now, obviously, this thing is going to work substantially differently. But I mean, I think that should be potentially better. Let's look at the tests we have. So, effect manager generates a method. Say returns a generator. How about that? And we know that means we should have generator.next and also return. And we need to do generator return to kill it at the end. Generator method can handle a none effect. Let's see what's going on here. Let's call this dispatch because that's what I'm going to say. Generator is going to be effect manager dispatch. And we want to do generator next effect. Oh no, we can just use none directly. And then we want to say t dot is dispatch dot call count 0. And this isn't asynchronous anymore. Oh, it's a source for. Actually, we do fail fast in here. I mean, first part seems fine, so we'll just have to rebuild the. I think the way I did this before is it created some sort of infinite loop, but hopefully we can resolve this time. Okay, so let's also wonder if I do this. I don't know that. Hoping it. But here I'm expecting. We could do a. Oh, sorry. No, that one should be. This one can handle a batch effect, so we'll say we should be calling it twice. And we're gonna batch. And we're just gonna pass. I guess 2 dates through. So let's just do A equals becomes B. It's an empty function, but a different one. And basically, because of actions, I think so when we batch calls run effect, and then eventually dispatches whatever that effect was. The truthy dispatch called with exactly A, but also with exactly B. So dispatch should have pushed those two things. You get some. And then message or the generated method can handle a message. No, well that's sort of okay. I see. I kind of changed the time, so actually just say not the generator. Effect manager can handle the effect. Effect manager handle that. Effect manager can compose effects through batch. Start with this, and then we'll make it. Oops. Okay, let's try this again. Copy that, and just paste it over top of that. Cool. And at this point, we haven't tested anything else. So I think we're going to save this test for technically the last test, but we'll still rate it now. Yeah, we can still keep A and B, I guess. Because we do want to know that these two were just. But I think we could do something like defer thunk and actually maybe we'll just do a thunk and defer. We should eventually get these two called. Now the one thing is, I think we need to do like a wait. New promise. Resolve set timeout. Oops, set timeout. resolve 0, maybe 1. Just to make sure that there's enough time for this defer to run. And it must have to run after some other promise is scheduled, so maybe it's a 0. Makes sense. Okay, yeah, and it looks like we can build things up a little better with composition. So we'll say here then effect manager handle a defer none effect. So this this technically does the, we'll just say defer effect, just because we've been using like kind of like A and B here. In case we'll say defer. So we'll immediately do defer A. And we're going to say initially we shouldn't see that call at all. And then we're going to await that and then say at least after some time we should see. So in fact that makes me go this last result thing that I tried is probably just adding code and complication where we don't need it. Like, that's really simple. And this is kind of nice too. So if I wanted to run the effect strictly, I could also, seems again, there's no BS in this one. Let's see, can we run defer? I don't know if that even and then just thunk is still tested properly, so cool. A thunk effect, which is going to look mostly like this, but we don't have to await anything, so that's nice too. What's kind of interesting is the thunk almost becomes exactly like an action. So it's possible that we can deprecate a thunk, or at least make it like a legacy deprecated thing. Which I'm not sure. Like maybe not. But anyway, let's save that, make sure test still run. Alright, so we're gonna run this, and things should be even more horribly broken. Oh, well, surprisingly, I mean, not anymore. Now, there is this, like, delay thing. I think I'm gonna rip out these, like, built-in, like, helper effects. I think they can be, like, some other library if I want, like, a common thing. But, like, having, request animation frame, things like that. I don't know. I don't know that I care. But yeah, these app effects we'll have to look into, and app, of course, as well. Maybe we'll do the app test next. All right, so if we look at app tests, like app throws when missing init and update. So should it throw? Like I'm guessing it would naturally should naturally do that, considering, well, I mean, update isn't going to be a thing, but init we destructure like immediately. Also, yeah, the more I think about it, the more I don't like dispatch being a directly exposed thing. All right, we're gonna change it. Well, let's do it like this, just so there's no way of like exposing dispatch a that could be modified. I don't think there's a way to do that really, but just as a thing. So we can dispatch. I think we also need like essentially like a quit. And all this really needs to do is anything that is a generator, like this and technically this now. And run update doesn't need to return anything. I think it used to because I did like some magic promisey stuff, but I don't think it needs to anymore. So quit, so obviously we want manage effects to return, which just kills the generator. And we also want to do manage of state return. And I believe I have some kill switch, some kill switch code in there. So if I look at there, we actually kind of wrapped return, and we go through all of the individual generators that it exposes and return those as well. Oh, look at all this fancy stuff. I kind of like that. So anyway, throws when missing init, really just init. Update doesn't matter. And I would think that this should throw, but I guess you could have undefined, but it's not going to work the way I think that anyone would suspect it would. Yeah, actually this should probably throw. But an undefined state is expected, but an effect that's undefined, not. If you ran that, then it's technically just like a follow-up state. Well, then it should be a function at least. So yeah, I think we could say if not next effect, and this should really be something. Throw new error. Can we do like new runtime error? I thought there was a runtime error built in. Am I crazy? Node.js runtime error type. There's a type error. Let's see what other error types are. Standard built-in objects, and we specifically want range error, reference error, internal error, eval error. Could be reference. I don't think it's range, but let's take it. Oh, error objects. How convenient. Type error, syntax error. Let's see what we got. So internal error isn't standardized and only supported on Firefox, so let's already ditch that. Eval error supported everywhere. Object indicates an error regarding the global eval function. Not really. That's not. Represents an error when a non-existent variable is referenced. This sounds pretty similar. Range when value is not in a set or values. I think that's our problem. Type error. Object represents an error when an operation could not be performed. Typically, when a value is not of the expected type. Sort of. I mean, undefined is an unexpected effect. Syntax error object represents an error when trying to interpret syntactically valid code. It's thrown when the JavaScript engine encounters tokens, token order. Okay, so I'm in between type and reference. Reference sounds like it's the better one though. And it looks like There might be some parameters we can pass to it. Message, file name, no. Oh yeah, not really. Okay, so we're gonna say return new reference error. And our message is going to be each action. We'll say app.init for each action must return must be an action effect tuple that you gave. Oh, actually, that should be state. That you gave X state. So this should be an error. When missing init or init is invalid. Otherwise, if we were to pass this, I mean, technically this should fail as well. So now I'm curious if. So we're gonna run test against source ferp app test.js. So I'm curious. Yeah, it doesn't like that because undefined is not iterable. Okay, so that this test. So if we made that that test gonna pass now. Nope. Find is not iterable. I mean, to me that sounds Well, what's interesting is it seems to be like this thing is failing. Which seems strange. Let's see, what do I think about this now? Well, I mean, let's see where the problem is. So this of state thing might be a problem. So let's see what of state is expecting. So it's expecting initial state and of. So automatically, we're missing some stuff. So this needs to be init 0. And what does the initial state? It just seems like we're forcing in something initially when this would technically cover it. I wonder if I did that for a reason. So let's see. Can we get that? Yes. Okay, so if of state is empty, I guess this could be just an empty. Yeah, I don't like that, but there we go. So we got the first one to pass. Yeah, so the big issue is, I guess, of state needs to exist. But, I mean, this could just do something too, where it's just like, if not of state, if you didn't pass it, then just like return next. Yeah, I kind of prefer that. We want to turn up here. Get rid of this. Jeez, typing's hard. Just assume that of state needs to exist if the generator gets instantiated. So it creates a detach method. Well, there's certainly a quit method. I guess we could call detach. So the API is just like a little better. It calls update immediately with an effect. That's going to be more of a difficult thing to test, which I think is where that test rig comes in. Let's call this quit detach. We don't need that. Null and none should be valid. Okay. These things technically create valid X. Means that it wouldn't return patch. But maybe because of the scoping, these actually self-destroy, so maybe that's okay. But something like this, I think. Oh, there should actually be like calls. Calls update immediately. I sort of need a way to intercept when new data is coming through. So this comes back to that test rig. Let's just call this app. Oops. Test rig.js. Let's add another key. Call this. Not just. I think we'll say like for of state. State in. After of state. We're just going to default this to empties, and then we can do something like return. Let's bring in app. App, and we're going to pass it init. Of state is going to be different because we something like for of state. Oh, and that's actually got to be like. Oh. Actually, no. I think these can be just functions. Then I need to like wrap these appropriately. also want like another thing in here. What's called like observe or something. You can just see what the new next state and next effect is going to be. Yeah, so if we did that, and we just said const observe, observe. Although that's not quite the same as dispatch. So let's do that, and then we want to do like a dispatch equals. Always do dispatch, but I guess we could do observe params and then messages dispatch. Oh, and then I think I oops. Gonna need that like in here. When I pass it around, I need to pass that, which means I also need that. Here. So I probably need something like this. In this case, I think I need to have a few of that. That's cool. And if I do that and I have this observe, I guess I don't really need this test rig anymore. It's kind of nice. Alright, so app calls update immediately with effect. So that's not quite what I want anymore. I guess some of it is effect manager. This effect has to be a straight up method at this point because of actions and how they work, which I'll have to document. Now I'm kind of curious if that brings some other tests, but maybe we'll soon. So creates a detach. I thought I fixed. So we want to know that it calls an action. Essentially. Well, let's do this. So let's get observe in here. Okay. Params, and we'll just expect what those are. Say t log params, and we'll say observe. This needs like callback. Okay, so this would be more like app. Oh, this type update makes sense. Could say we can pass that in, which is essentially a thunk at that point, but this actually needs state and none. So you don't want to keep going. Oops. Okay, so there we go. We got an observe. We got a not a number. Which was unexpected. So observe only gets called once. It's kind of interesting. Comment all the now, so there's a little less noise. Okay, so we have only one, oh, maybe two. Oh no, never mind. That's just an undefined somewhere down the pipeline, and that seems wrong. Actually, let's call this dispatch. Got a not a number in there. That seems quite wrong. So let's look at the state manager. We have a set get and on change set. We run a callback. Let's do also a console.log run update next state next effect. Let's see why this does not work the way I expect. So I want to know if next state is actually being extracted the way we think. So let's see. Okay, so run update doesn't actually get called right away, which is also sort of strange. Run update, we immediately be running. Oh, never mind. So it starts undefined, which seems super wrong considering we have init here. So let's do it dot only on here. Test dot only. For now, let's go to this plan too. So it's probably going to error rate without having data. Got a 0 and got our ran that update. This like run update feels wrong. Like I'm missing a piece that loads up run update. Next piece. What if instead a dispatch or something? How did that used to work? Seems strange. Okay, so this would be like a message. Oh, we have this like on dispatch. Let's go down here. Messages dot on dispatch run update. I don't like that this is doing a promise and a set time. I don't like anything. Generator is already. That's a little better though. So we have an update which did the right thing. Next thing, don't. Alright, so why is that? So I'm guessing something about our action isn't working as expected. Let's just do a little. Let's just do console log action.add. Let's just see what's in there. So got nothing passed to it. That seems super wrong. Dispatch should be passing a message in. Oh, and here we're saying if there's no callback, so if that's the case, it seems like that should be fine. We have this on dispatch. Seems like this should be just inline. No reason to call that directly. This should just be dispatch init. So fill state is undefined. Okay, so if I want to run my next effect, so I guess that doesn't have any concept of what the current state is. Oh, okay, this is where things are getting tricky. So manage effects needs to know current status. Needs that so it can push the next action in. Does it? Optionally next effect. So if we look at the effect manager and just see how it pushes things out. So it tries to run the effect, but yeah, it needs to know current state. So yeah, let's do it. Run effect, and that means that when we call pending effect, this should actually be state state in. This needs to be unless I just want to push it out as a function, then I need to, maybe that's better. That feels better. Otherwise, I think there's going to be like some out of sync state issues. Those would be tracked down. So this should be pending effect. And when we dispatch a function, it means we need to kind of like data, say if type of data function and what we want to do here is return dispatch. We need to call data, but we need to pass it some stuff. Oh, so this will actually be should be normally state effect, but type of state could be a function. If it's a function, then we need to run state, and then we need to pass it current state. So this will be state.get, and effect, which would be its props at that point. It's like I was press next state and next effect. Sure. Means next state, next effect. And if we don't have an effect, then something bad happened. All right, let's see if that works. The dispatch once and then tries to dispatch function. This is saying if the state is a function, then just got an action. Undefined is not a function. Oh yeah, that makes sense. That should be next. That undefined isn't a function. App 23. Message manager 6. Callback has to be configured, which it does get configured. Well, yeah, let's just call that a message. Type of message is a function. Then we know to otherwise we know it should be next state, next effect. like that. Yeah, I kind of like that. Run update function. Function should see. Oops. That's my next effect. This would be console.log run update.action. Init. Sorry, we get the app definition. We have init call resolves to this action effect, tries to push that through, and then that actually feels really good. So now if we do this and we just run this dispatch logger, 1, 2, and which seems pretty good to me. I think it's as good as we can get it. So now without having some sort of details. So we'll say, I mean, I guess it calls dispatch immediately. So I'm going to get rid of this. Okay, we'll say count init 0. And we want basically t deep equal actual params, but we know it should be basically the same as init initially, and we can say t plan 1. Starts off as, oh, I see, destructured or whatever. So we should see this pushes leads like that. Right, now there's no callback because this all basically happens in line. Alright, so can enable a subscription which can dispatch an up. Okay, so the rest of these kind of feel like they could be subscription things. This actually gets way simpler. It's kind of nice. So this would be calls dispatch immediately with state and effect. App calls this would be calls dispatch. We'll say recursively dispatches when effect is an action. Start with that, but instead we're going to do const add is going to take in state, turn state plus 1 none. We'll just pass add. And we're going to just say assertions. So our first one is going to be First one's going to be that, and the second one, t deep equal expecting params equal 1 and shift is the insert, so shift take the front and then assertion params. Cool, so plan on however many assertions here. And let's read that again. So what's the difference? Oh, right. Pass that in. So this would be params, and this would be is params add, because we need to push that function. But well, for JavaScript X. Okay, generator's already running. That seems wrong. But it could have something to do with not having a we're already running. Do Node.js ESM generator already running. Callback triggering multiple times on error if the debugger solution is to either not use the pattern at all or wrap the async promise like so. That seems to be just playing .next generator. Yeah, makes me wonder if there's here. App 33 is where like it's complaining, so it's pushing a new effect in. None 3 times, which makes sense because we have so I almost feel like this sort of here, and then this is more like Let's see. Did I do something unexpected? Doesn't even run that. Almost feels like one of these things is actually not passing. So if I did something like Christian is not a assert function, then assert undefined. So we're gonna if type of assertion is a function. Not really. That again. Like, that's the problem. I think it should be. Let's see. I'm gonna do any assertions. I mean, maybe observe just doesn't show the versions of this, but I'm not sure that's the issue. It sort of feels like there's some other bug. The generator is causing a big issue with it. Well, let's go back to Google. Maybe I just misread this. So using the following pattern, I mean this is weird. do it. That's a bad. Oh hey. Yeah, that's a really old question. Anyway, let's see. So say just JS function generator already. Let's just see if someone else has a more generic version of this, or if maybe MD talks about like already running. Or is this? I mean, it could have something to do with like really still. Just have anything to do with them. We got like a type error. Seems like a really strange thing. Here we go, async. I mean, this isn't really an async function, so. And we're not in Chrome, and this is from 2016, but God, generators running. This is like maybe this is like some error. I don't really understand what has caused this issue. And like this is the main thing. So like Google's even ending. Someone's saying that like thing going on here. So maybe what we'll do here is we're gonna do it try catch to say like generator through error. Now this is like a band-aid, obviously. Okay, so I think something about one of these is a problem. So for instance, if there's a none, then we just bail, no big deal. Now in the case of our test, I mean technically we should be getting here. So let's just do a try catch on this. Here we'll say say unable to effect. Cool, and then let's get this like overall try catch. There we go. So we couldn't run the effect function add. So what about dispatch? Doesn't like that. I guess there's these params, but even then, like the observed params shouldn't be a problem. It messages dispatch. Maybe that does something unexpected. Like when we call dispatch, we say we don't have a callback, and like bail, but we do have a call. So I sort of want to like bring these back, and also detach. Oh, hello there, Rufus. See, so yeah, like somewhere in the pipes it doesn't like doing this. So So let's do a try catching here. Let's do console log, problem running action. Let's just see if we can kind of isolate exactly where this is, and then maybe we can give it. So this is just saying like running dispatch itself. So we did try here. So say console. Yeah, we'll do it. This will be message manager dot dispatch, and we're dispatching specifically message, and then we're console dot air. Okay, so it's still like unable to just to run the effect. So something about us dispatching that message directly is not jiving with this. Alright, if we here and we just dispatch it. We know we have dispatch. We know we have effect. We know it's the function add. Oh, type error console.error is undefined. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, this should totally be a roar. Okay, so we caught it. Type 1. Symbol. F in it must be, or each action must be state effect tuple, but you gave undefined. Yeah, that would be a big problem. Okay, well, let's go specifically to the test that we know is causing a problem. Error is actually happening when we get the new state. And we should probably have like backend message. So callback is definitely a function, and the callback is here. So here we could say console log. Say like this is like on dispatch. And what do we get from this? Oh wait, we have this like. I think that's expected. So let's just see what messages at this point. Maybe there's same there. Not really. I mean, we're getting tuple, which we're expecting. I mean, state can be whatever, but we know effect needs something. I mean, are we throwing this exception here? Maybe we'll on dispatch.throw. Like, I'm pretty sure my action is on dispatch, and then messenger, manager, message. Jeez, talking's hard. And I'm getting to the point where my brain's just exhausted thinking about this problem, but I mean, like, am I stuck in like an infinite loop? Like, I wouldn't think so because it ends really quickly. It says generator's already written. That's for the effect generator specifically. And let's also do like a console.log and then manage of state.result. And console. Actually, maybe we'll make these infos, which I don't think actually matter that much for full, but manage effects.result. I'm just curious if maybe somehow one of these is early. So the result of .next is undefined. Oh, but I guess in this case we're doing what I should be doing for manage of state is turning just like null generator. And this thing can be while true. Let me just do it in here. And just return null generator. Just so we actually get like a value done from there. Kind of curious if maybe done was being set. But I mean, it doesn't appear to be. And this generator already running though does bother me quite a bit. Like, I just go into node and just make it function generator, call it foo. Wow. True. You. Oh, and then close function. And if we did like const test equals foo, just next. That's fine. Now if we do const other, is that error? Nope. Other dot next. Right, not my SQL. That slash isn't gonna work. Oh, hello, Technology TV. This is JavaScript. If you want to, I can bump up the font depending on. I don't know how easy it is to read, so let me know. But yeah, it's in just good old JavaScript, Node.js specifically, but technically the browser as well. Sorry, I didn't catch your message immediately. I thought my chat was pretty dead today. But hello and welcome. Let me move my messaging so I can read it a little more. So let's see, why is this not working? Expected. The question of every test that fails. And only this test. You know what, I'm just gonna bump it out. I think it's Alright, well I have an async here and I don't need it. Let's get rid of that too. That could be causing some extra issues. Okay, well maybe this is a problem of the effect manager. So let's try going to the effect manager tests. Let's just make sure we also generate a return on all these, just to be sure that they all clean up after themselves as expected. Let's say test effect manager can pass through an action. Let's go with that. So we know I guess I sort of already tested that. But we can test directly, I guess. So if we did something that, but our next is just going to be a directly. We know that we should just be doing this exactly once, and then generator return. This will be effect manager test.js. So it's strange that it's pretty happy doing that without any issue. I wonder if this is like a call stack issue then. If that's the case, I mean, we're not that deep in the call stack. But yeah, I guess this could easily become a call stack issue. Maybe why I did the set timeout stuff. That makes me go like in app. This could just become like a set timeout 0, and then the nice thing about doing it here is that, like, this is the only thing that matters. Plan for 3, but got 0 assertions, which I think is expected. Let's do async in here again. We're gonna do something. Wait, new promise. Resolve set timeout of 1. Just hopefully enough to let this do its stuff. And then, like, optionally, you do like I think Ava's got like a test after or something to that extent. Or I could, yeah, okay, this is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna say this is gonna be t.end, and this is gonna become a t like cb callback. Oops, let's not do it. So we need a way to yeah, do like a test.after and like a t context detach. We want to know if that exists. So we do const detach that, and if not detach, then we just bail. Care, and otherwise detach method. So down here, so instead of that, we could say t context detach. Okay, so t.end was never called. So this is pushing a null. So we do dispatch an empty, which that's not good. Weird is So yeah, we end up with this reference error. Oh, we dispatch an empty array message? How do we get that? So we got on dispatch throw. Oh, so let's just do params, because I think we always pass along a tuple. Batch that, that. And then when we're done, we don't do anything. That's weird that... Oh, this is happening because we do manage effects, and this should technically push in a none. So yeah, this almost feels like it must be specifically a null. But I mean, I could just like make a special like quit message or something. But if we went into the effect manager itself, yeah, so this would just be if not pending effect and continue. Okay, and then I'm guessing the state manager when that was, oh, that's the of state. There was an of state. Oh, we already have this continue. So okay. Oh wow. Actually, we're that initial init is the thing that's yeah, and that does throw, but it doesn't throw. So I'm just gonna remove. Patch immediately with effect. This dispatch makes it run out of. I also want to do like the run update. So quite separately do messages dot and dispatch update. Oh, and then but in there either, unless observe gets pushed into this, which I guess is fine. This should be message. First and is called. I guess this could just be 2. For 2. Yeah, that seems like a problem. Great. Let's get rid of all these console logs. But with it destroying the code at the same time. Okay, so some of these are testing the message manager, but in a message is not reasonable. Okay, well, that's good. But I think I'm one step closer, and I think I'm done streaming. My brain needs a break. So let's go to the screen and cool. So well, let's commit up to. Let's do that quick. Cool. Hey, so if you let me just, wow, look at that. So if you liked what you saw stream, you can visit my website where you can find more resources. You can talk to me on Twitter. If you participate and enjoy HyperApp, you can also find me on their public Slack, Mr. Raspberry. Also, if you want to support me, you don't have to. It's okay. I'm not hurting. But some of the things that Patreon and GitHub sponsorship can help me with is just dedicating more time to streaming, and for some of the free services I have, like mob time, ensuring that I can run the servers. Right now I've got kind of a shared DigitalOcean box that I'm just kind of running with a bunch of servers on it, and Mob Time is one of those. But maybe I should have a separate one, so if you sponsor me on there, that could help. Otherwise, that's all I got. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you 2 weeks. All right, bye, friends.